Welcome to Madame Raven's. This way to the library. She's been expecting you.
To Some Birds Flown Away by Victor Hugo. Children, come back, I say, you whom my folly chased away. A moment since, from this my room, with bristling wrath and words of doom. What had you done, you bandits small, with lips as red as roses all? What crime? What wild and hapless deed? What porcelain vase by you was split to 1,000 pieces? Did you need for pastime as you handled it some Gothic missal to enrich with your design fantastical? Or did your tearing fingers fall on some old picture which your dreadful fault? Not one of these, only when you left yourself to please. This morning, but a fine moment here, mid papers tinted by my mind, you took some embryo verses near, half-formed, but fully well designed, to open out. Your heart's desire was but to throw them on the fire, then watch the tinder for the sight of shining sparks that twinkle bright. As little boats that sail at night, or like the window lights that spring from out the dark at evening. 'Twas all, and you were well content. Fine loss was this for anger's vent. A strophe ill made midst your play, sweet sound that chased the words away. In stormy flight, an ode quite new, with rhymes inflated, stanzas too, that panted, moving lazily, and heavy Alexandrian lines that seem to jostle bodily, like children full of play designs, that spring at once from schoolroom's form, instead of all this angry storm. Another might have thanked you well for saving prey from that grim cell, that hollowed den neath journals great, where editors who poets flout with their demonic laughter shout, I have scolded you, what fate for charming dwarves who never meant to anger Hercules. And I have frightened you. My jeer I sent back to the wall and then let fly. A shower of words the envious use. Get out, I said with harsh abuse. Leave me alone, alone I say. Poor man alone. Ah, well a day. What a fine result. What triumph rare. As one turns from the coffin dead, so left you me, I could but stare upon the door through which you fled, I proud and grave, but punished quite. And what care you for this my plight? You have recovered liberty, fresh air, and lovely scenery, the spacious park, and wished for grass, lights, and gratefully to sing. I a blade to watch what comes to pass, blue sky, and all the spring can show, nature serenely fair to see, the book of birds and spirits free, God's poem worth much more than mine, where flowers for perfect stanzas shine, flowers that a child may pluck and play, no harsh voice frightened it away. I am alone all pleasure o'er, alone with pedant called ennui. For since the morning at my door, ennui has waited patiently. That doctor, London-born, you mark, one Sunday in December dark. Poor little ones, he loved you not, and waited till the chance he got to enter as you passed by. And in the very corner where you played with frolic laughter gay, he sighs and yawns with weary air. What can I do? Shall I read books or write more verse, or turn fond looks upon enamels blue, sea green, and white, on insects rare as seen upon my Dresden chinaware? Or shall I touch the globe and care to make the heavens turn upon its axis? No, not one of these things care I to do. All wearies me, I think of you. In truth, with your sunshine fled, and gaiety with your light tread, glad noises that set me dreaming still. 'Twas my delight to watch your will, and mark your point with fingertips, to help your spelling out a word, to see the pearls between your lips, when I your joyous laughter heard, your honest brows that looked so true, and said, "Oh yes," to each intent, your great bright eyes that loved to view with admiration innocent, my fine old service, the eager thought that every kind of knowledge sought, the elbow push with, "Come and see." Oh, certes, spirits sylph there be, and fays the wind blows often here, the gnomes that squat the ceiling near, in corners made by old books dim, the long-backed dwarfs, those goblins grim, that seem at home 'mong verses rare, and chat to them with friendly air. Oh, how the joyous demon throng must have laughed with laughter long, to see you on my rough drafts fall, my bayed hedimeters and all the mournful, miserable band, and drag them with relentless hand from out their box with true delight, to set them each and all alight, and then with clapping hands to lean above the stove and watch the scene. How to the mass deformed there came a soul that showered itself in flame. Bright tricksy children, oh, I pray, come back and sing and dance away, and chatter too, sometimes you may, a giddy group a book seize, or sometimes, if you please, with nimble steps you'll run to me and push that arm that holds the pen, till on a finished verse will be a stroke that like a steeple when seen sudden upon the plain. My soul longs for your breath again, to warm it. Oh, return, come here with laugh and babble, and no fear, when with your shadow you obscure the book I read, for I am sure, oh, madcap terrible and dear, that you were right and I was wrong. But who has never with scolding tongue blamed out of season? Pardon me, you must forgive, for sad we are. The young should not be hard and cold, and unforgiving to the old. Children, each morning your souls opt out, like windows to the shining day. Oh, miracle that comes about, the miracle that children gay have happiness and goodness too. Caressed by destiny are you, charming are you, if you but play. But we with living overwrought, and full of grave and somber thought, are snappish oft, dear little men. We have ill-tempered days, and then are quite unjust and full of care. It rained this morning, and the air was chill, but clouds that dimmed the sky have passed. Things spited me, and why? But now my heart repents. Behold, what 'twas that made me cross and scold. All by and by you'll understand, when brows are marked by time's stern hand. Then you will comprehend, be sure, when older, that's to say, less pure. The fault I freely own was mine. But oh, for pardon now I pine. Enough my punishment to meet. You must forgive, I do entreat. With clasped hands praying, oh, come back. Make peace, and you shall nothing lack. See how my pencils paper here, and pointless compasses, and dear old lacquer work, and stoneware clear, through glass protecting all man's toys, so coveted by girls and boys. Great china monsters, bodies much like cucumbers, you all shall touch. I yield up all my pictures rare, found beneath antique rubbish heap. my great and tapestried oak chair I will from you no longer keep. You shall about my table climb and dance or drag without a cry, from me as if it were a crime. Even I'll look on patiently, if you your jagged toys all throw upon my carved bench, till it show the wood is torn, and freely too. I'll leave in your own hands to view my pictured Bible, oft desired, but which to touch your fear inspired, with God in emperor's robe attired. Then, if to see my verse burn should seem to you a pleasant turn, take them to freely tear away or burn. But oh, not so I'd say, if this were Mary's room to play, that noble poet, happy town, Marcel the Greek, that him doth own, daughter of Homer fair to see, of Virgil's son the mother she. To you I'd say, hold, children all, let but your eyes on this work fall. These papers are the sacred nest in which his crooning fancies rest. Tomorrow winged to heaven they'll soar, for newborn verse imprisoned still in manuscript may suffer sore at your small hands and childish will, without a thought of bad intent, of cruelty quite innocent. You wound their feet and bruised their wings, and make them suffer those ill things that children play to young birds bring. But mine, no matter what you do, my poetry is all in you. You are my inspiration bright, that gives my verse its purest light. Children whose life is made of hope, whose joy, within its mystic scope, owns all to ignorance of ill. You have not suffered, and you still know not what gloomy thoughts weigh down the poet-writer weary grown, what warmth is shed by your sweet smile, how much he needs to gaze awhile upon your shining placid brow, when his own brow its ache doth know, with what delight he loves to hear your frolic play 'neath tree that's near, your joyous voice mixed well with his own song all mournful swell. Come back then, children, come to me, if you wish not that I should be as lonely now as you're afar, as fisherman of Etrete, who listless on his elbow lean through all the weary winter scenes, as tired of thought as on time flies, and watching only rainy skies. So quoth this raven. Thank you so kindly for stopping by my chateau, my darlings. It does mean so much to me. Please, if you have not subscribed, as many of you have not, please do so. Give me a like so I know what you would like to hear. And comment. I always love to read your comments. And special thanks to my Patreon and membership supporters. Ciao, darlings.